Today we're going to talk about the difference between the poor and middle class and the rich and the mindset that goes with making the transition.
Give me every time.
Growing up, my family was lower middle class. We definitely weren't super poor, but we didn't have a ton of money to spend on things. I started reading books when I was 16, and one of the books was Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And this book changed the way that I thought about money. It changed the way that I thought about my decisions with money. And eventually, it's changing my family tree. So what he talks about is the poor middle class, they work for money their whole life. So they go to work, pay their bills, go to sleep, go to work, pay their bills, go to sleep. And they continually go in that revolving wheel of pay your bills, go to work, go to sleep. The problem is that for middle class, you constantly are going to have these payments. It's going to be very hard to break out of that cycle, to save money, to invest. And he talks about the rich, they learn how to make their money work for them. The money that they make, they use it to buy assets. So what's the difference between an asset and a liability? An asset is anything that makes you money. A liability is anything that costs you money. So for example, buying a car. A car is a liability because it costs you money, it depreciates in value over time, it also costs you money throughout the life of that vehicle, right? Oil changes, tires. What are some assets though? Businesses, stocks, real estate. Those are all assets that will appreciate in value, and you can also use them to generate money. For example, if you were to buy a business, you could run that business successfully and generate a profit off that business. If you were to buy a stock, it will pay out dividends. It can appreciate in value over time. If you were to buy real estate, you could rent out that real estate, which would provide cash flow each week, each month. So those are the difference between liabilities and assets. And for you and I, when we make buying decisions, for me specifically, I look and I think about, is this an asset or is this a liability? If I want to go buy a new computer, it's going to cost me $1,000. Is that an asset or a liability? That's a liability. It's going to go down in value. It's going to cost me money. But at the end of the day, I have to weigh those options. So one thing that I would look at for you is to think about each month, are you buying any assets with the money that you have coming in your budget? What assets are you acquiring? Are you building a business? Are you buying stocks? Are you investing in any way, shape, or form, if it's even just a 401k? Do you have an IRA? Do you have an investment account? Because if you really want to make the change from poor middle class to rich, you have to figure out where and how you're going to buy assets. If you need some ideas, I'll put several links below to different posts that I've done on investing in the stock market and automatic millionaire investing. If you like this video, be sure to hit that subscribe. I post videos about saving money, investing, traveling, and I'll see y'all next week.
Give me every time.